All right, welcome to Gen X Rated Tuesday edition. How we doing, Billy?
Oh, good. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Nice to be indoors on such a steamy day.
Yeah, it feels like we went right into summer.
I know. I want to say yesterday was 88. I don't know what we're pushing today, but my air conditioning's running, which is concerning.
Oh yeah, you might as well have that that dollar sign meter going.
For sure. And they can kind of pick their rate, as we know, because they deserve it.
How much you got?
Exactly. Um, so a whole bunch of stuff going on today, random stuff, which is par for the course of keeping us distracted with all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, Trump had his little photo of himself as Christ. First, he gets into a fight with the Pope, says the Pope's weak on crime, his foreign policy sucks. Uh, I didn't even know the Pope was a political figure, but yeah. So, really mad at the Pope, and then he puts up this photo of him posing as Christ. The symbolism's horrific, if you ask me. We've got veterans, the Statue of Liberty, jets and flags, and
Oh, the flag, of course.
what are we doing?
Maybe some. Yeah.
It didn't go over real big, even in some of his crazy right wing folk. Didn't really care for seeing that. It was criticized quite a bit.
Well,
So, of
even some
course,
Republican senators thought he went a little too far.
a little bit, or a
A little
lot.
bit.
But then he turns around and said, "Oh, I thought it was a doctor costume." And I did see a bunch of those for Halloween where it was a doctor's costume, but it was Christ. um, just ridiculous. This guy will lie about anything.
And
Uh,
everything.
Later on, he said it was the fake news that portrayed it that way. But again, a simple Google search will show this image pretty much everywhere in various forms. My favorite was the image um, whoops, where Obama comes up behind him and punches him in the face. There's another one where Christ literally comes and socks him and then throws him into hell.
Ooh, I like that one.
Seemed kind of fitting. I don't know. But again, this guy will lie about pretty much anything. His followers, I saw a few commenting that they just didn't believe he would do this. He would never do this.
Well, apparently, he's losing support amongst Catholics. The evangelicals are just fine with it.
Sure. I mean, he's going to bring the rapture. That's all they really care about anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah. And we touched on this the other day, but again, JD Vance ruins everything. That's just the
Mm-hmm.
motto. He could probably run on that and lose. Of course, he went into Turkey and that blew up in his face. Then he went into negotiations with the Iranians, and things were going, I guess, okay until Netanyahu got involved. Uh, and then they started reporting. Oh, this is Netanyahu's words, whether it's A1 or AI, excuse me, Netanyahu or some guy. I don't know for sure, but it just said everything goes through him. The U.S. kept in constant touch with him, and he doesn't want peace. He doesn't want this to stop. He wants to continue bombing the crap out of Lebanon. I'm sure you saw the Apple Maps have been removing towns in Lebanon because, hey, why not? I guess Apple loves Israel as much as Trump, maybe. Um,
Oh, it's unbelievable.
it is pretty crazy, and it just goes on like that. A giant failure. So, of course, were told how amazing it was, and we were big winners, and we're so super. But the world's kind of moved on. We know that the Russian subs are there in the Strait. We know that the Chinese are saying, "Hey, uh, get into this at your own peril," because they have business there, and that's not stopping. So everybody else is using the Strait except for the U.S. and Israel. That will come back and bite us in the butt. I know Trump says we have plenty of reserves of oil. We may have oil reserves. Yes, we do. Fifth largest, I think, in the world. But when you're not bringing any oil in and you're burning through them, you don't have a whole lot. It's certainly
Mm-hmm.
not sustainable, and it's really not a great idea to keep saying everything's okay when it's not.
All is well.
Yeah, I saw Animal House, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
So Trump came. First of all, one of the important elements that we use is helium that comes through the Strait. Um, most of the they're talking about a collapse in the helium market. Most of it right now is being sent to Taiwan based on contracts that were signed 2 weeks ago, and labs are scrambling because you may be waiting a while to get that MRI. Not to mention fertilizer, which curbs upon our food prices, et cetera. So it does affect us quite a bit. Whether it affects Trump and his vag neck, maybe that's a different story, but it does affect most of us. Trump came out today and he kind of implied that he's done. It's up to the rest of the world that needs this Strait to come in and fix this because, we'll be stand by and be there for guidance and suggestions. But he kept saying how the world can't believe the U.S. power and strength and brilliance. And he was messing that up too. He just kept stumbling over his own words. Couldn't really say brilliance very clearly. But the bottom line was he felt that this was a good investment in your children and grandchildren's future. Doing this now.
Good investment. Absolutely. You know what? Because who needs healthcare and, you know, food for low income families. Who needs education? We don't need any of that. Let's invest in some more bombs and blow up some more innocent people because that's where it's really at.
For your safety. And they've come up with this whole GOP talking point about 47 years of the threat and how, it's worth it and you're paying at the pumps now, but later on it'll be okay. And food prices are more expensive, but later on it'll be okay because these guys were such a threat and we're doing such a great service to our citizens. I mean, it's all malarkey in the words of a guy who they said was demented. It's a bunch of malarkey. Hard to believe.
Load of malarkey.
And to your point about who wants education and healthcare, Mexico is coming forth with universal healthcare. They don't have a concept. They came out with a plan. It doesn't happen overnight, but none of this stuff normally does. As of yesterday, those 85 and older in Mexico will have universal health care. By January of 2027, they'll have universal care for all, full coverage that includes drugs, lab tests, etc. And the goal is to have it in place by 2030. It seems pretty doable. This is a country that has 1/17 of the GDP that we have, but they're putting it to pretty good use, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, it certainly sounds like it. But we have the concept of a plan.
We haven't even heard it yet, but
it's going to be brilliant, though. Okay, don't you worry.
You can go north of the border and get universal health care. You can go south of the border and get universal health care. Maybe that's why they're putting these walls up, so we can't get health care by leaving this country.
Yeah, stuck in the mushy middle.
Yeah, food for thought. And they think it's really great. And the people on Capitol Hill, I guess it is pretty fantastic because they have gold-plated healthcare that none of the rest of us have. We do end up kind of paying for that. And
yeah, we do. I mean, that's a perk that should be taken away. They should be forced to get their healthcare like everybody else does.
Yeah, off the exchange.
Yeah.
So, again, it's another example of the progressiveness of other nations and how we're just sitting in this model of the 50s. I know I'm jumping around here a little bit, but since we are talking about the model of the 50s and how amazing those times were for some reason, for some, Fox News spent a whole afternoon blaming low birth rates on the fact that teens aren't having enough kids. I mean,
I don't even know where to go with that. I mean, coming from the party of pedophiles and they're upset that the teens aren't having enough sex because you need sex to have kids. That's just not quite out of character, but certainly disturbing.
It's a very strange comment. It's a strange segment to actually have Dr. Mark Siegel blaming the fertility rate, which terrifies these Republicans because of fewer teen births. It's dropping in the ages 15 to 19, which is a problem. Age of consent in most states is 16 to 18. And if you had a kid, I just don't know that I'd want them getting pregnant at age 15 or 16 or 17 or 18.
Not a good idea.
Doesn't
Not
seem very
recommended.
smart. But that's who we're blaming the fertility rate on. Peak teen pregnancy in this country was in the late 50s, 1957. Girls age 15 and up, they would have 96.3 kids per thousand people, per thousand women, girls, children, some of them. But this was like post World War II. They just came through this giant battle. It's like night and day from where we are today. And the social norms were completely different. You could stay at home and afford to stay at home and have your husband go to work or your wife go to work, vice versa, whatever. Not then, obviously, I guess. But my point being, you could have a single earner and raise a family and live in a home. It was just different. People got married early. People had children early. Now it's you're not having kids till you're in your 30s, not your 20s. Why might that be? I mean, it's just not very affordable. There's no assistance. Costs rising for childcare, which is out of control. Food and other daily needs. I mean, not even counting like the medical expenses to raise a child. I mean, I get it. They feel like, hey, just have a kid. Everything's great. You know, we're number one. But then they don't really give much assistance for that kid. I saw people complaining about healthcare costs, $400 a week to send 2 kids to daycare. Well, it's a lot more than that. That's not a bad deal, and that was some time ago. But today, it's just out of control, and that's 12 months a year. Do you get summers off at your job? Like, no. You know, you're paying this fee year round, and most people can't afford to have somebody stay at home. It's usually a 2 working family household. So, again, I think they're going after the wrong people and the wrong concepts as to what's wrong with this country currently.
Well, but this is exactly what their plan is. This government, this regime, it's run like what do they call it? You know, that business model where you're just going to buy up a company, you're going to take it over, you're going to suck out all of the assets. It's basically
hedge fund.
Yeah, it's run like a hedge fund. They're grifting off of us now. They're buying up everything, buying up the housing markets. They're buying up hospitals and emergency departments. And everything they touch turns to shit. They suck it all out. I mean, we saw it in Goodfellas. They explained it very, very succinctly and easily. You take over a business, you run up the credit, you sell off everything you can, and when it's done, you light a match and you walk away. That's exactly what they're doing. They're hollowing it out. They're squeezing us. They are erasing the middle class, and you're just going to have haves and have-nots. And the haves are getting richer and fatter, and the have-nots, more of us are becoming have-nots.
For sure.
Quality of life.
I saw a gentleman speaking on looking at future patterns where you'll have only certain people will be able to afford to travel. And then those that can't will have to travel from their homes through some sort of, I don't know, AI type of thing. Maybe it's a Meta's headset that takes you to your ulterior reality or some stupid nonsense.
Oh, great. So we're going from Goodfellas to Total Recall. I'm going to be a secret agent on Mars. That's great.
That would be awesome.
See the 3-breasted midget woman. Fantastic.
That would be cool. To your point, with the housing market, sellers outnumber buyers by about 630,000. It's the largest gap ever. Just 2.8% of homes changed hands in the first 9 months of 2025. That's the lowest in 32 years. And as we kept talking about in the past, it's 60-year-olds selling to 60-year-olds. They're the only ones that have enough equity or ownership of their house to be able to trade it out for somebody else's home. We're not giving this to future generations. It's not a thing. People talk about, you work harder, maybe get a second job. Earning income is up 10 times, but the issue is the cost of living's more. So maybe you made 10 times more than you had in the past, but housing costs are up 17 times what they were. college is up 16 times what they were. And more importantly, healthcare is up 42% over what it was. So good luck keeping up. I'm sure you've seen all over the place when people talk about their student loans, how much they took out, how much they've paid, and then how much they still owe. And you never catch up. It's just not plausible.
No, and you're cannibalizing whole generations just so, the wealthy can get rich again, the investors that, loan this money out. It's disgusting.
So when Biden was doing forgiveness of student loans and stuff, there was such major outrage about it. We can't afford it. Why don't they pay their share? All this other stuff.
It was all coming from people who either got Pell Grants or, maybe your whole college education costs like 10 grand.
Yeah. Cost per credit was a heck of a lot cheaper. Maybe you came from a decent, well-to-do family that paid for your college.
Yeah.
That wasn't that out of the ordinary. And now you're all bitter. Times change, but you're reflecting back on your days of yore, which is
yeah. So maybe put it into perspective and mind your own damn business. What's it to you?
Totally agree. People are kind of jerks about that. My point being that went away pretty quickly. We moved on. They don't deserve it. Yet we're spending $1 billion a day for a war that we don't even know what we're accomplishing or what our goals are, or what we even want.
Trying to accomplish what Obama had already accomplished.
Yeah.
That same deal that Trump tore up as soon as he took office again. That's what we're trying to get back to. Well, we already had it.
Yeah. But it didn't have Trump's stamp on it, so now it does. So
yeah. Trump's stamp of disaster.
So I did want to also mention the DoorDash thing that went down yesterday. It was pretty ridiculous. Trump tried to kind of make light of it and talk about, hey, this doesn't look too staged. But you had the DoorDash grandma show up with some McDonald's at the White House, which was pretty amazing. There's Trump making some funny faces. The woman didn't specifically say who she voted for, which kind of makes you wonder a little bit how red she is as far as the GOP. But she has been here before. This is her testifying in front of Congress about some right-leaning issue. It seems like she is on the payroll, which they always accuse the left of this, but clearly, this woman's had her day or two supporting the GOP. I thought this was pretty cringeworthy. He actually has to pay her. I don't know if that's a $5 or $1. He probably doesn't know what the cost of money is or cost of food is.
And I guarantee you it didn't come out of his wallet because I don't think he carries cash. So I'm sure he hit one of the staffers up.
Yeah, and you can see her eyes. She's kind of looking at it like, you realize that's a $2 bill, right?
I mean, it's almost offensive how stupid these little photo ops that they stage from the White House are. This is just the lamest shit ever. Like, really? That's the best you can do?
Well, and the whole point of it was her tax on tips, right? So
yeah.
She saved all kinds of money. She said, I made $22,000 last year and I got back $11,000 because of my tax on tips being tax free. And Trump said, oh, it should be called the big, beautiful tax break because, whoa, what a break. Well, if she did, in fact, make $22,000, the earned income would have covered her. She wouldn't have paid taxes.
Yeah, you're not getting half that back.
And I think we all know that the tax on tips is kind of made up. It's capped out. You have to work so much, and they have to be cash tips, which most people aren't tipping in cash to begin with. So it just seemed like a made up nonsensical thing. On top of it, her husband has cancer. So she's driving DoorDash in Arkansas via Nevada to DC because she needs to raise money for his cancer treatment. I think most of us are aware of the cancer treatment for $11,000. I don't know what that is. Maybe they're feeding you one-eyed fish, but there's not a thing. It's super expensive. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars, not 11 grand. And now her husband's doing fine. Trump did go on to lose track and talk about, well, look out here. The UFC fight's going to be out here and we're going to set up this 4,500 arena right out here. And then on the back, we're going to have stands for 100,000 people that are going to come watch. And it's going to be this major event. I mean, he can't even stay on point with why they're doing this made up deceptive ploy. It's just stupid. And for the record, UFC the other night had one of their worst attended events ever. Donnie was there, as we pointed out. Rubio was there. Guy Fieri was fist pounding with Trump, and Rogan was there, even though he doesn't agree with Trump. They're still buddies. And attendance sucked. They gave away 5,000 tickets. They moved everybody from the upper bowls down to the lower bowls because it's just not that popular or cool. And I know that Dana White says, "Oh, I don't give to politics. That's not my thing." He does. He gives lots of money to the GOP. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that entire sport is really closely affiliated now with Trump and the GOP.
Yeah, and it's kind of stupid. So it kind of blew up in his face, and the people were like, "Hey, why is Grandma have to work driving DoorDash and has no health care?" Like, there's two problems that arise just looking at this made-up scenario of his.
Oh yeah, well, it goes right back to George Bush. Working 3 jobs. What's more American than that?
So true. And I thought we might move on, realizing that was kind of stupid at the time, but instead we just double down, and let's just talk about made-up things like vaccines and such.
Yeah, fake news.
Some super fake news. I will say that Dr. Oz was talking about diet soda, which he has a like for, and it may be something that could kill cancer. Keep drinking that Diet Coke. Meanwhile, measles cases, we're up to 1,912 cases. I believe in all of 2020, we had 13 cases. So that's a rise of 14,608%
Jesus.
with measles. Kind of scary. But we don't care about that. And then on top of it, Trump wants to dump all the coal ash into the waterways. Coal ash happens to be twice as radioactive as nuclear fuel. So doesn't seem like a great idea, but he's kind of a dummy.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. But again, we don't really care about water. We don't care. These data centers are coming up hot. We're going to be the hottest country. Wait, we already are the hottest country.
Yeah.
The envy of everybody. And I don't know if you've been seeing it, but on Twitter and particular TikTok, people are that are living around these data centers are coming up, and they're they're coming in front of their city councils and stuff and complaining about the water. Their water now has like a white sheen to it. Some towns have like a nonstop buzzing, humming coming. And it's not something they're making up. They walk outside, you can hear it, and it just doesn't stop. And it goes on day and night. So, I have a light in my house that buzzes, and it drives me nuts after 30 to 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Something off. I can't imagine living daily listening to the hum of the data center. But.
Well, yeah, drinking opaque water, and yeah, that's insane.
So kind of nutty. And again, when they talk about Soros paying agitators and all that nonsense, here's Trump paying the woman from Arkansas. She'll push back and say she wasn't paid. She believes in it, but her statistics and her numbers are made up and phony. Maybe that's not on her, but do your due diligence. You should know what you paid in taxes. I know that I had to pay way more. I think the average American had to pay $900 more. The real breaks were the Apple's, Alphabet, Google, Amazon. They pay Facebook. They paid next to nothing. Mm-hmm. And the top 5% of earners really got some big money back.
Sadly, okay, they work harder and they're better than all.
Sadly, that wasn't me. And yeah, they'll just put it right back into the economy because they're such great people and they really care about you.
Yeah, sure. Because that luxury market for private jets and yachts is really benefiting all of us.
I mean, have you ever seen Bill Gates's yacht that follows the yacht? It's insane. and he doesn't spend a whole lot of time on either of them. Well, I don't think he spends time on the one that follows the yacht at all, but to maintain, to staff, to fuel, just crazy money.
It is crazy, and crazy is the key word there. I just really think when you have those kind of resources and money, I think something just flips in your brain, and I think it's a real problem. I think it's a real thing, a condition. You don't care. You can have whatever you want to. A luxury yacht to there's a bird on the window looking in at me. A luxury yacht to follow your super luxury yacht? Why, yes. You know what? Maybe I should get a third yacht, maybe a submarine to follow, and I can ride it out to Jeffrey Epstein's island and defile young children. I mean, these people are just sick. It's a fucked up mentality, and I think it's just something that comes when you have these kind of resources and that kind of wealth.
Yeah, and why are we doing all this? Why are we at war? Why are we worried about all this stuff? Comes back to the Epstein files once again. Back to the Epstein files. This is the Zorro Ranch. It's a ranch we've talked about before. It's 7,500 acres. You can see the helicopter landing strip. You can see a nice green area, probably for chipping and putting because everybody loves that. Nice pool. I mean, that place is over the top, ginormous and spectacular. I would avoid the room with the dental chair.
And the weird masks on the wall? Yeah.
Freaky masks, yeah. I did see an update today. We had talked about New Mexico tried to investigate this in 2018 and 2019. The feds came in and said, no, laissez-faire, not your business. But currently, New Mexico has opened it back up, and there is an active criminal investigation, so they weren't going to give too much information based on it still being open, obviously. But they are bringing in a lot of investigators. They're doing drones to check the whole area around. And it's New Mexico that's handling it, which gives you some confidence that it'll be done right and not shut down. This is going on while you have Department of Justice Blanche, who was the criminal defense attorney, personal one of Trump, who's now in charge because Bondi's gone, but not forgotten. He said no more on the Epstein files. I mean, we put out 6 million pieces of paper, and if the congresswoman or men want to come in and ask for more, we can do that. But as far as we're concerned, we've been extremely transparent. Nobody's more transparent than us, which are all lies. It was 3% of the files have been released. The majority of it was redacted. And then when Congress people did go in, they were tracked. Every file that they opened was known to the Department of Justice. So they know every file that got opened. And then generally what happens after that, I don't know. Maybe they disappear. Maybe they get the black stamp. I don't know. But what a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. So we're fighting because Trump has done bad things. And we already know that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that goes with the Netanyahus and, of course, his wife, who came out ahead of the story and said she didn't even know Jeffrey.
I've never seen him before.
Yeah, there's plenty of pictures, a lot of photos.
A lot of photos.
I mean, he had it in the files about he was practically naked on the Lolita, getting it on with her. I mean, this was before she met Trump, which she said happened in 1998, 99. He happened to be married, so Miss Maples probably wasn't thrilled about that. But we know this guy is a cheat. People seemed okay with that.
Listen, we know it wasn't a meet cute at Starbucks when he got his non-fat latte and she had her cappuccino mixed up, and they instantly locked eyes and it was magic. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that sounds kind of silly when you say it like that. Couple other things. This is a story that's been around for the last few months, but they're talking about in the past year, they've had 10 so far. U.S. nuclear and space experts are disappearing, coming out of Los Alamos, Kirtland Air Force Base, and NASA, people linked to the space program. And they seem to be a pattern where they just kind of walk into the desert and disappear. They leave their phones behind, their keys. There's no cause of death. But I saw another gentleman just in the last 3 days. He was the 10th. So I don't know what kind of program they're working on. If it's a military defense thing, if they know too much, if you know what it is, but it's definitely something that should be kind of looked into. These people are very smart. They have a lot of information about whatever this program is, and now all of a sudden they just start disappearing. That seems really odd.
That is very odd. That's bizarre.
So keep it on your radar because it's definitely a thing, and people are starting to ask some questions about it. Which we have a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
You mentioned before about Swalwell resigning. It wasn't like a comedian making booby hands and then having to leave the government. It does sound like where there's smoke, there's probably some fire. I don't know the particulars. I do know that he's a Democrat and he's resigned from Congress. I think because of that, Gallego in Texas had to resign as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was not going to. In fact, he was going to try and run for election again. He was the one that had an affair with the married intern who lit herself on fire and killed herself.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really terrible person, and I'm glad he'll be out of our government. I mean, we have enough terrible people in our government, starting with the Lindsey Grahams and the Trumps and the Hegseth.
Oh my God. Hegseth, Rubios, the Cruzes. Yeah.
It's been pretty quiet as
and on and on and on.
You could go on and on with that list of brain trust. So, I mean, other than those things, I did have some positive things I was going to talk about briefly.
Okay.
Just because I get sick of twice a week just bringing up the nonsense that we're faced with. And I think the information is important, but I also think that you get to a point where you can only, as you said, put your finger in so many holes to stop it, where, at some point, maybe you just rip the whole thing down.
Yeah. It's not holding anyway, so.
And that's going to take people coming out. We saw that in Turkey. People came out. They, trust me, tried to take that election and make it a little bit closer. But when everybody comes out, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
We do have May Day coming up, May 1st, where we're supposed to boycott work, stay at home, find something else to do, enjoy your family, enjoy your quiet time, whatever, just to kind of start making a point here. A couple of positives, and maybe this is petty, but CBS's ratings are plummeting. They hired a non-professional, Barry Weiss, editor-in-chief. She fired a bunch of people that have been there. She got rid of CBS Radio, which has been around forever, KDKA. And her and the president are butting heads. Not that makes him a great person, because it's all about numbers, I'm sure. But nobody really cares for their style. Nobody cares for their coverage. And pretty much everybody knows that it's in the Trump bank anyway.
Oh, yeah.
David Muir, ABC, has a lot more credibility. It's somebody that's been there on the ground and has done it before. These other guys are just talking heads for the regime, and nobody really appreciates that.
Yeah, no. I mean, at some point, people get sick of it, and they trash. CBS had a long-established reputation for journalism. I mean, going back to Mike Rather or Mike Wallace, Dan Rather, Edward J. Murrow.
Yep.
And they just trashed it. She took a giant dump all over it at the bequest of Trump and his billionaire pals.
I mean, Dan Rather was shamed for giving content off a photocopy. But that didn't mean that the content wasn't correct. About W being AWOL, but it was a photocopy. So he got shit canned, even though, again, the content and the information was correct. And look how far we've gone today. I mean, we can just make shit up and everything's fine.
Yeah. And, you wonder, and it never was explained. So where was W then during that time period? Never got an answer. Yeah.
Glug.
He was off Hegsething.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
More good news. Trump had that lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion, which probably somehow he wanted the taxpayers to pay him because his feelings were hurt. That was thrown out. It was about the Epstein birthday letter story, which he said was completely false, even though that signature looked like him, as well as the design of the woman's body, because he's a bit of a pig.
Another beautiful secret.
That was dismissed. What else? Oh, the parks, which he's trying to get rid of the National Park Service, which he doesn't care about. And his agriculture secretary came out and tried to kind of discount how many research centers they're closing by saying they must have been, the rent was too expensive in those offices. Like, lady, we got wildfire season coming up. We got El Nino coming up with the heat. We need the park services. They bring a lot to the table, and it employs a lot of knowledgeable people. It's not a summer camp job. It's completely disrespectful to minimize these people, and it's super short-sighted in how you handle our public lands. But if you don't handle our public lands, you can sell them off to billionaires, and they can use it for timber. They could use it for drilling, anything you want.
Anything you want. Build a data center there.
Sure. Maybe just build a giant house so nobody can come and appreciate anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Grand Canyon's closed. Not for you today, my friend.
Yeah, no, we're going to fill it in. It's an eyesore.
So to that end, the Trump administration has agreed to keep flying the Pride flag at Stonewall Monument. Again, it's under the National Park Service. He shouldn't have his beak in there anyway, but here we go. Trump again. And that leads me to the USA Hockey. I didn't realize this till this weekend, but they have a new policy, and it affects transgender people because they have 10 million people in their organization as far as who they insure. It's secondary insurance for youth hockey, beer league hockey. A lot of tournaments you have to get USA Hockey insurance, which is great. But the Trump administration is the ones that came in and said, hey, this is your new policy. It made it, because they go after the men playing in women's sports type of thing. It's really not a thing. But I didn't realize why the policy change came. It was because of this administration. And USA Hockey, when people call to get confirmation, they don't even know what this administration wants. They want to be vindictive and hateful, but they're not really sure how to apply that, except we don't want this. So USA Hockey's trying to figure out what exactly they want so that they can continue to be inclusive to those that love the sport, which it is a great sport when you take this political nonsense out of it. Man, woman, ape, you play at a certain level, you play with peers at your level, no matter what you are. If it's co-ed, fine. If it's a women's league, fine. You're looking for an even playing field. You're not looking to ostracize people. But again, in typical fashion, that's what this regime does. So great, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really big on creating problems where there wasn't one.
Yeah, I didn't even know Trump liked hockey. I mean, Kash Patel was there, but I haven't seen him talking too much about the playoffs that are upcoming.
That fucking guy. I'm sure he'll be keeping an eye on it, though.
Probably. Instead, he's
2
just
games
been,
at the same time.
Flying around to Nashville to see his old lady sing and dance and whatever else.
Yeah, on our dime.
Yeah.
Because, hey, everybody, I'm Kash Patel. I've got a girlfriend.
And she's going to sue you, too, because you're a jerk. And
Loser.
she feels, picked on or something stupid. Anyway, moving on. In June of 2026, Costco will no longer have a membership. Anybody can shop there, which I thought is pretty terrific. They do a nice job over there. And nice. The last piece I had before we talk any sports is that the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette will continue publishing. They were acquired by a nonprofit, Venetulis Institute for local journalists. They also bought Baltimore paper in the past, and they will keep the Post-Gazette going, which again is one of the longest running newspapers in our country.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I hadn't seen that, so that makes me happy. I'm glad to see that.
That happened today, so it's very positive. A couple more things. Regular season for the NHL, at least for Pittsburgh, ends tonight. They're in St. Louis. None of the big stars made the trip. They're just trying to get ready for the playoffs, which do start on Saturday, which is super exciting.
Flyers.
Pittsburgh Penguin fans haven't been in the playoffs for several years, so it's nice to have Sid and Gino and Letang back in the playoffs. It's bonus hockey, free hockey.
Yeah, and what a great matchup too for a couple of teams that haven't been in the playoffs for a while.
Yeah,
I might mention Philly's streak is a lot longer than the Pens, but
for sure.
either way, it's a great rivalry, and it should be a good series. I know Crosby is always.
Yeah,
Go back to 2009, the year that Max Talbot
yeah,
taking a beating for his team and getting those guys fired up, drawing a fight with Carcillo with the Flyers up 3-1 or 3-0, and yeah, that was
yeah.
great.
Great history there. Great history of how much the Philadelphia fans hate Crosby, though he's got more points against them than any other player ever in history of hockey. So
Yeah,
I guess that's a reason to dislike him in its own right. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be exciting. I, of course, have to mention the Pirates since I'm a big fan. Skeens pitched last night. They're in first place in their division, which is kind of unheard of.
this late in the season.
I know, right? Um, and it's funny because after that first game where Skeens opened up against the Mets and you had Cruz in the outfield misplayed a ball, cost him a couple runs, misplayed another ball in the outfield, cost him more runs. People wanted that guy's head on a platter. The manager did sit him down the next game, I believe, just maybe kind of focus in a little bit. And he's been red hot ever since.
Yeah, he's been on a tear.
Batting like 355, and he's got a 12-game hitting streak at this point. Skeens joked he pitched 6 innings, and he would have gone back out there, but in the bottom of the 6th, the Pirates scored 10 runs. By then, his time was done, and he was like, I would have gone back out, but I was sat for too long, which, again, just making light. But I'm impressed by the Pirates and the fact that they have 5 starters for the most part, that every time they come out could win you a game. And that's not the norm for any of these teams unless you're a Yankee or a Dodger and you're paying for it. So
Yeah.
very exciting about the Pirates. Let's see if they can keep it going. I know people laugh at me because, usually they're out in the next couple weeks, but so far so good.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep it up and make, baseball interesting. And, maybe the baseball season in Pittsburgh doesn't end when the Steelers report to training camp. So
I know
we'll
we
see.
can enjoy both.
Off to a great start. Well, usually by then, the Pirates are like double digits back and
For sure.
tits up and taking on water, as they say. But hopefully, this year, we'll see.
Well, I have the full capacity that I could still be interested in the Pirates and Steeler training camp. So the draft is coming up next for the NFL, which is in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes down. But all seems very positive. So I think we should end on that note.
That'll work.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, Billy, I appreciate your time today. I know I'm going to catch up with you a little bit later. All right. Well, thanks again for coming out and sharing your time, and I'll catch up with you later.
All right.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
See ya.